Konnichiwa.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Nobuhiko Matsumoto, a board member of Tokyo 8 Global and Ascentia Holdings.
Board member of Tokyo 8 Global and Ascentia Holdings. 本日はお忙しい中
Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us for this webinar from all over the world. Thank you very much. Let's talk first about how to join this webinar and more about the details. So the first part of today's webinar will be mainly in Japanese, and in the second half, we'll mainly have English. So if you look at your screen, you will notice there's a globe mark, a globe symbol. Can you see a globe symbol on your screen? Or maybe a translation symbol, translation icon. So from that icon, you can select your language. If you have any questions during the sessions, you can click on the Q&A button and type the question in your preferred language. So we'll try to answer your questions during our Q&A time for each session. Today is the 7th Tokyo 8 briefing session. Our first meeting, or our first webinar, was held in December 2021, and this was 3.5 years ago. It was the summer of 2021 when we started using Tokyo 8 overseas for the first time. Until then, Tokyo 8 had only been available in Japan. So it means in the past 3.5 years, the number of countries that have used Tokyo 8 at least once has exceeded 20. The number of countries where Tokyo 8 has local production plants includes Indonesia, Philippines, Mozambique, Malawi, and Mauritania. We also have multiple sites in Indonesia, Malawi. In Japan, the usage and popularity of Tokyo 8 is also increasing. Our quality control is solid, and we conduct regular tests on our products before shipping it to different parts of the country. Our main challenge now is meeting this fast-growing demand of Tokyo 8. When we look back at the past webinars, when we look back to 2022, we remember our first trial in Liberia, Africa, where we reported for the first time that Tokyo 8's pest repellent effect is tremendous and that its usage is very practical, even in remote parts of the world. In 2023, we had another experiment that revealed that Tokyo 8 could be useful in carbon sequestration, which is basically kind of limiting the emission of greenhouse gases. So we thought if Tokyo 8 goes as far as preventing greenhouse emissions, why not spread it around the world? So according to a presentation done by Kagoshima Prefecture's Agri-Support Kagoshima in 2024, more than 40% of the cultivated area in Ariake district of Kagoshima, which is a tea-producing region in Japan, are now using Tokyo 8. Their positive results have yielded high expectations for neighboring farmers in Kagoshima. Yes, so we'll be talking a little bit more about this today. And if you'd like to look back on previous webinars, you can have a look at our YouTube channel, Tokyo 8 Global. You can find that on YouTube. Now about today's program. We will first have a list of Tokyo 8 users. Those are farmers and also business people who have used Tokyo 8. They will share their personal experiences using the product. If you see on the screen, you'll see a timetable. In Japan, the agriculture harvest is concentrated in the fall, which is August, starting from August or October. And the main crop cultivated, the main cultivation crop is rice. And that is why our main focus for today will be rice in terms of Japan. Rice, as you may know, is the staple food of Japanese people, with each person consuming about 56 kilograms per year. However, Japan's rice production in 2024 is facing a few challenges, resulting in rice shortages and also soaring prices in supermarkets. For overseas reports in today's webinar, we'll feature a success story from Malawi, Africa, where Tokyo 8 is growing in popularity. We'll also have a report from Indonesia, which now has the largest number of Tokyo 8 production plants around the world. We're very excited to share these results with you, and we'll try and answer all your questions to the best of our ability. Don't forget to type your question using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Please be patient with us as interpretation will be done simultaneously by our in-house staff alongside Zoom's automatic interpretation feature. After today's session, we will upload a session of the video recording, so you can look out for that as well. Thank you very much.
我々このウェビナーの内容は YouTube で配信いたしますので、そちらでご確認ください。では本日も元気に開催をしたいと思います。
So we'll be beginning our program as of now.
いたしまして、東京8グローバル。
Our first speaker will be the CEO of Tokyo 8 Global and Taiyo Yuka, Mr. Taihei Ishida. The floor is yours, Mr. Ishida. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today at the Tokyo 8 results presentation. My name is Taihei Ishida, the CEO of Tokyo 8 Global. First of all, let me assert that Tokyo 8 plays a vital role in addressing today's challenges in agriculture. This groundbreaking biostimulant is a product born from recycled waste material in society using the power of science and technology. Not only does it enhance productivity, but it also makes a contribution to the creation of a circular society, which also protects the environment. In simple terms, its strength lies in its ability to enable a sustainable and productive agriculture in harmony with the ecosystem of planet Earth. For example, we use the power of microorganisms, and Tokyo 8 contributes to organic farming and also pesticide-free cultivation around the world. Particularly noteworthy is the effectiveness of Tokyo 8 in organic rice cultivation as demonstrated in countries around the world. Many farmers have already validated these results and are transitioning to more sustainable farming practices. Based on these achievements, we can affirm that the efforts behind Tokyo 8 are critical to supporting agriculture. We have more academic circles backing the usage of Tokyo 8, which provides a solid foundation of scientific validation. This proves that our initiatives are supported by science, and we eagerly anticipate further technology advancements in Tokyo 8. Additionally, it is important to note that Tokyo 8 shows effectiveness not only in rice, but also in different crops around the world. This means that Tokyo 8 can contribute to different sectors and also contribute to sustainable food production. In this presentation, we will share these achievements with you and also work together towards breakthrough in agriculture and sustainable society.
それでは
Thank you.
各発表をお楽しみください。
Mr. Taihei Ishida, thank you very much.
続いて、同じく東京都グローバル太陽ユカの、
Next,
石田専務
we will have
よりです
the
ね、
Executive Director of Tokyo 8, Mr.
24 年の
Ishida,
日本国内での
and
成果
he'll
を
give a rundown
駆け足ではござい
of
ますけれども発
results
表していただきたいと思います。
using Tokyo 8 in
石田専
2024.
務よろしくお願いいたします。
Floor is yours, Mr. Ishida.
はい、皆様本日はご参加ありがとうございます。
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yohei Ishida
今回では
from Tokyo 8 Global.
発表になっておりますが、
Although the main focus of our webinar today is rice,
東京8は
Tokyo 8 has also been used for a variety of crops.
短い時間ではあります
In
が、
this short presentation, I will introduce various case studies conducted in 2024 using Tokyo 8.
あ、来ました。はい。まずはですね、
Okay.
鹿児島県
So here's our first case study. Here we have a tea producer in Makurazaki, which is in Kagoshima Prefecture.
元々はですね、
The left side of this photo is from the seaside, and originally it was a warm and very good field on the east slope. But unfortunately, a typhoon and a storm caused severe salt damage to this area of the field, and the leaves became discolored.
来年の一番茶に向けての被害が大きいです。
When we had just finished our fall pruning, the damage was very significant, and tea production and tea results were very bleak.
健全に維持してい
But when we applied Tokyo 8, the leaves kind of became restored in terms of their vigor, and the tree was restored in terms of its health. So we applied around a liter
画面が切り替わるのが時間が
of Tokyo 8 per 1,000 square meter.
日本一のトマトの大産地ですね。
Here's a different crop, tomatoes. We tried Tokyo 8 on tomato seedlings in Kumamoto Prefecture. Kumamoto Prefecture is the largest producer of tomatoes in Japan. And when we applied Tokyo 8 to the seedlings, we used the dilution ratio of 100 to 300, and we applied Tokyo 8 to 25,000 seedlings.
青枯れ病対策
We
として
sprayed Tokyo 8 at an interval of 10 days.
土作りから
From the 10th day
ご使用いただき
after potting up.
土壌消毒の後
As we know, bacteria wilt is very terrible on tomatoes. So it was very surprising that the tomatoes grew up to be very firm and healthy without being weak.
なりました。
To prevent bacteria wilt, we therefore recommend that you use Tokyo 8 from soil
こちらはです
preparation.
ね、同じく熊本県での夏の事例です。
Our next case is on the same bacteria wilt, but this time on eggplants.
今年は東京8と
This is still in Kumamoto Prefecture.
液肥
So we use Tokyo 8 together with Bombardier, which is a liquid organic fertilizer. We applied them together, trying to suppress bacteria wilt. Tokyo 8 was applied from March at a rate of 10 to 300 square meters,
10リッターの
and 10 liters of Tokyo 8 was applied into that 300 liter tank. So this was a dilution rate of 1:30. Here's a different experiment.
畑の残差をいち早く分解する
Here we were experimenting at the effect of Tokyo 8 on decomposition of field residue.
上下に土を被覆
So we partnered with a seed maker named Tani Hashimoto
分けており
to
ます
observe its field residue decomposition. If you look at the photo, from the left we have control, where there was no Tokyo 8. Middle residue is Tokyo 8, followed by fermented pig dung, and then bokashi,
他の資材で
also
も
lime
あ
nitrogen.
りましたが、東京8の分解能力はやはり高い結果
We noticed that the part with Tokyo 8 decomposed quite well in comparison to other materials.
次はですね、北海道
Our next
富良野の
vegetable
生産者
is
様の
the
事例
red onion. the onion rather. So we were trying to control here red root rot, which is common among onions. This is in Furano, Hokkaido. In the control area, we noticed that the roots were purple in color and infected with red root rot. But in the areas that were sprayed with Tokyo 8, the growth of these pathogens were suppressed. Tokyo 8 can be sprayed on your seedlings and also foliar spraying, which is spraying on your leaves. According to results from farmers who have used Tokyo 8, they report that the root growth of your crops when you use Tokyo 8 becomes really good. The color of your leaves becomes darker and healthier, and your crops become more resistant to diseases. The participants or the respondent felt that this is very effective, especially since we're having a lot of abnormal weather. So that's a comparison. Our next crop is green peppers, and this experiment was done in Hokkaido, Niki town. So this experiment was actually highly rated as one of the best green pepper production farms in Japan. So here are his observations. He noticed that the stem of these green peppers is very well developed. The branches, that is our internodes, are very thick. The petals look very healthy, and he was expecting a very good fruit from the harvest. The leaves were also not too hard. So there was a good rating overall from green peppers. Next, we have leeks, and that was an experiment done in Gunma Prefecture. In a field of leeks, which are usually plagued by soft rot, Tokyo 8 was sprayed at a dilution rate of 1:100, that is a liter per 1,000 square meters. The farmer was surprised to find that there was almost no soft rot in these leeks during the year he used Tokyo 8. He was also surprised that these results continue as he keeps on using Tokyo 8. Here's our next case study. This is cyclamen, and we use Tokyo 8 in the nursery stage. So if you see the photo, the left side is control, where there was no Tokyo 8. The right side is where Tokyo 8 was sprayed. On the right side, the bottom right is no Tokyo 8. The above photo on the top right is where Tokyo 8 was sprayed. You'll notice a visible difference in the leaves. So you'll see that the leaves in the top right are greener and more healthier than the leaves in the bottom right, which are discolored. Here, Tokyo 8 was sprayed at a dilution rate of 1:100. For our next experiment, this time Tokyo 8 was sprayed on flowers. This experiment was done by Dr. Yokoyama of Yokoyama Enge in Tokyo. So he's a farmer who focuses on flowers and also is featured in a lot of TV shows such as NHK. The problem here was that his flowers were attacked, or rather they were suffering from the effects of natural disasters. So on the right, we have no Tokyo 8. On the left, the flowers were sprayed with Tokyo 8. So this is the end result of flowers when they were sprayed with Tokyo 8. Next, we have Chinese cabbage. So Tokyo 8 proved effective for seedling growth in Chinese cabbage. This is in Gunma Prefecture. Tokyo 8 was sprayed once every 2 weeks at 100 times dilution. And the part with Tokyo 8 is on the right side. So the farmer reported that the sprayed area with Tokyo 8 had healthier plants and also taller seedlings. While the area without Tokyo 8 is sort of dome-shaped and there's uneven growth. Next, we have organic spinach. So on the right side, we have a photo with Tokyo 8, and on the left side, no Tokyo 8. We can see that the right side has sort of a healthier appearance than the left, where Tokyo 8 was not used. The farmer reported that he's very satisfied with the color and the thickness of his horenso leaves, that is spinach leaves. Similar reports were given from Komatsuna experiment. This is organic kale. So here, organic kale was sprayed with Tokyo 8. We sprayed it on the soil at a dilution rate of 1:100. And here, that means 1 liter for 1,000 square meters.
こちらは、群馬県の藤岡市のいちご生産者様の事例です。
Next, we have strawberries, and this strawberry farmer used Tokyo 8 at a 1 liter as to 100 dilution rate. He applied Tokyo 8 to the soil before raising the ridges for the main strawberry field, but no anthracnose appeared and the flower buds were growing well. So on the left, you will see that there's a healthy growth using Tokyo 8 compared to the right. The plants that were sprayed with Tokyo 8 were also reported to be healthier. This is just a few of the many experiments that were used. And what we'd like to highlight is the fact that Tokyo 8 can be used on a variety of crops, not just a few. And we would like you to try Tokyo 8 and also hear from the farmers who have used it personally today. Please remember that Tokyo 8 is widely applicable to your crops. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hi.
Thank you, Mr. Ishida.
はい、ここからが本日のメインプログラムとなってまいります。今回、日本からの発表のメインプログラムは稲作でございます。
So as we mentioned, our main focus today will be rice.
ウェビナーにご登壇いただいた
Our presenter from now will be a rice farmer, an organic rice farmer.
登壇者のご紹介、そしてその発表も含めて
Mr. Harikai will be leading this segment.
太陽のハリカイと申します。
My name is Harikai.
ご登壇いただきますパネリストの
So I'll introduce the two panelists today.
松下明弘さん。
So first of all, Mr. Akihiro Matsushita, who's from Shizuoka Prefecture. He's the representative director of a company named Oryza Farm. This is a company that focuses on rice production. So he's 61 years. And he's studied agriculture. At the age of 24, he joined the Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteers and went overseas. He has been doing organic farming for more than 30 years in Japan, and he specializes in rice cultivation.
青島酒造さんでは、
At his farm,
松
8
下さんの
hectares
有機栽
are
培の山並み
certified
を使用
by
した広い
JAS,
松下米という
and
ブランドにて
that's
日
8 out
本酒の
of
醸
a
造
total
販
of 12
売を行って
hectares
お
of
ります。
paddy rice.
水筒12ヘクタール、うち有機ジャス認定補助が8ヘクタール。
So
ジェ
Mr.
ダシオーガニックシ
Matsushita's
ティ推進協議会副
main
会長になられます。
customers are very varied,
またもう一方のですね、登壇
and
者
he'll talk a little bit
パネリ
about
ストの
his
佐藤
production
真由美さ
today.
んです。
So for our next
新潟県
panelist, we
長
have
岡市
Miss
株
Mayumi
式会社
Sato,
日吉商事
and she's the director
株
of
式会社
Suyoshi Agriculture Co.
平成28年より営農を開催。
She's been farming since
水筒
2008,
38ヘクタールのうち有機ジャス
and she
1.2ヘクタール、
has 38 hectares of paddy rice. Out of those 38 hectares,
食用米加工米
1.2
の
hectares
生産の
is
ほか、
organic
県の委託に
and
て
also certified.
種子生産も
20
行っておりま
hectares
す。
is organic special
新潟
cultivation.
大学農学部の特任教授、三井先生のご紹介で、今年
So
の栽培
we
用
knew
東
her
京
through
初めての利用を
a professor who will be
計画してござい
speaking
ます。
later on, Mr.
三井先
Mitsui,
生は、新潟大学にて、
who is
新代
a
コシヒカリと呼ばれる新品種、
pioneer of a
新
new
潟大
variety
学
of rice
の
in
唯一の開
Japan.
発した先生として有名です。
He's a very famous
それで
professor.
はですね、これから、東京8を
So from now, we would like to hear from them. That is a discussion between Mr. Matsushita and Ms. Mayumi
い
Sato.
ただきます。
The floor is yours, Mr. Matsushita and Ms. Sato.
じゃあ、最初にきっかけから、私は東京8を
So let
今
me
年度 三井先生の
talk a little bit about how I first knew about Tokyo 8. I first learned of Tokyo 8 from Professor
聞
Mitsui.
きまして、それからすごい使ってみたいと思って、
I discovered, oh, this is very interesting and I would like to try it.
もうすごくいいんだよっていう話
It
になって、
sounds like a very good product and I would like to try it.
それでね、なおかつ、ね、松下さんに会ったら、使ってるって言われて、
So I discovered that Matsushita-san, you are also using Tokyo 8 and I was like, wow, I really need to try this product
そのため
called
にちょっと
Tokyo
参考に
8.
お聞きしたいなと思って、
So I'll ask you a few questions,
そもそ
Mr.
も私
Matsushita.
東京イトと出会ったのはもう2年前。
I first learned of Tokyo 8 from Mr. Harikai,
オーガニックシティ、
who has just been speaking.
国の
We met in Fujieda
認
City,
定を藤枝市があって、
and Fujieda
その時
City
に
is certified as an organic city by the government of
微
Japan.
生物剤を扱ってると。
And he told me there's this product called Tokyo 8, which is a biofertilizer.
ね、ところで買える
I felt like
申し訳ない
Harikai came all the way, so let me give his product a chance and try
という
it.
ことで、
And that's how I did a demonstration experiment in my farm. So Mr. Harikai sent me a sample of Tokyo 8, and this is a picture
4面散歩
of me trying the product. So on the left, this is rice. On the left, we have control,
1回、
no Tokyo 8. On the right, we have
80倍ぐ
Tokyo
らい
8.
のでやったのか
So
な。
I
1リッターを80リッターに薄め
used a dilution rate of about 1 to 80 liters, and I sprayed Tokyo 8 with a power sprayer.
稲刈りの時に
I was really surprised by the results when I first used Tokyo 8. I think the rice looked amazing and I was surprised.
これ面白いなと。
I thought this is a very interesting product. I want to continue using it.
昨年度、
So this next photo is the second year of me using Tokyo 8. This time I used Tokyo 8 in the seedling stage.
苗に
And how I used it was pouring it into the rice seedlings. These are rice seedlings
そのまま
in a pool. So it was poured as a liquid fertilizer through the water.
一品種、決めて、その田んぼ
So
だ
I
けは
decided to use Tokyo 8 on one
一緒にやって
variety of rice. And also I tried to use Tokyo 8 on the leaves of the seedlings.
非常にひどくて
However, that year, unfortunately, there was really high
東京都で
temperatures.
は高温障害
And Tokyo 8 was not really
乗り越えられなか
showing
ったんですけど、
or beating the high temperatures.
食味は
However, after
変わらず
trying the final product, which is the rice,
かなり落ちたんですけど、高温障害で食味が。
The taste was not that different, and the quality
例年通りに戻ったと言えばいいんでしょう
was not that
ひ
different.
どくはなかった。まあそんな
So that is our starting point with Tokyo 8.
結果です。
じゃあ、すいません。ゆくみ使ってみて。
はい。
So, Mr. Matsushita, you used Tokyo 8 to grow seedlings. Did you notice anything about the leaves or the roots?
箱あたり
Yes. So, in a week into doing our rice planting, I diluted about 20 cc per box of Tokyo 8 at a dilution rate of 100. And I poured the Tokyo 8, as I said, into these seedlings.
になるように流し込みやったので、もうその頃にはもう
But that time, the seedlings and the roots were already formed, so
苗としては
they did not look very different.
変わらない。
So there was not much of a difference because the seedlings had already started developing.
立ち上がり、それから発色の良さ。
Later on, though, I realized that these seedlings are growing at a faster rate than usual, which means the roots are also getting impacted by Tokyo 8. That means the roots are getting healthier, the roots are getting stronger, and that is why the height is sort of
かなり良かったです。
bigger than usual. The leaf color of these seedlings, I noticed, were also looking healthier. And that is all connected to the root health.
悪いような稲だったら、その時点でまた。
So I would say if your rice looks a little bad,
によっては
maybe you can spray Tokyo 8 on the leaves,
は最初から
depending on the variety. In Japan, we have Yamada Nishiki variety, and it's a very
ぐらいになるともう
strong
どんどん
variety.
下がってくるんですけど、
The leaf color doesn't really change from start
最初が良
to
くて
to
最後に下
harvest.
がったのは稲刈りの前から。
Maybe it will go down before harvesting, but because it's a very strong rice variety, the leaf color
もしかした
doesn't
ら
really change.
山田錦は古い品種で、もともと
So I thought maybe because Yamada Nishiki variety is very
東
strong,
京糸が作用して、かなりいい根が
it could work well with Tokyo 8 and produce very good rice.
まあ肥料を捕まえてくる力がもともと
So when I tried my Tokyo 8 on Yamada Nishiki, it absorbed the fertilizer really well.
余りました。
So the effect was even stronger.
肥料の軽減にも
In fact, during the year that I used Tokyo 8 on this rice
去
variety,
年あれだけ
I reduced the amount of fertilizer that I normally use.
まあさすがに収量は落ちましたけどね、根性害で。ただ
Remember that I said this was a very hot year, the weather was terrible.
とか状態は
But even then, I didn't get too bad of a harvest. I could salvage some rice.
まあ葉面散布の時もだいたい
So, Mr. Matsushita, after seedling growth, did you do anything different with Tokyo 8?
まあだいたい70
So I applied Tokyo 8 on the leaves using a dilution rate of 50 to 100.
楽です。楽です。
That would mean 70 to 80 liters per hectare you'll be spraying on the leaves.
そうですね。
And you can spray on the leaves for your rice, but the easiest way I feel is to use Tokyo 8 at seedling stage.
そうですね。
So it's easier to do this than using a jet sprayer, and it's also easier to do
ラッシュ
this
ですね。
than using a drone.
すごく大事です。
So it's very important if you're growing rice to use Tokyo 8 from the seedling stage. That gives you a better chance of improving your harvest.
使おうと思ってて。
Why seedling stage? Again, we want to make sure that your plants develop very healthy roots,
植えて、その後ほら、両面散布されて、
and then later it's easier to
収量は、まあでも
control other variables.
そうですね。もう去年は根性害がひどすぎて、
Next, about the problem of high temperatures. As you know, we have a lot of
まあ
climate change,
去
heat
年のデータは定かないん
damage.
ですけど、一昨年実験やったところは、
But yeah, the yield of production tends to drop whenever the temperatures are too high.
は
The table here shows that our
比
yields,
較した方が
even though we
7.5
expected it to drop,
で、東京8使った方が
the
8.6
field
か
with
7ぐらい
Tokyo
いったの
8
かな。
gave
なの
me
でかなり
still a very
収量
good
20くらいで
harvest.
でしたけどね。
If you can see on the table, the top
で
line,
食
the
味
top
が
row
抜群に良かったです。
shows 8.7, which is a
食
higher
べ比べしたんですけど、両方同じ
kilogram of rice.
え
Next,
そうですね。
this
普通に
photo
比較試験
shows rice on a plate. Here I was doing a comparison of Tokyo 8 versus no Tokyo 8 rice. So I cooked these two kinds of rice from my field. And I can say the Tokyo 8 rice was much tastier than the no Tokyo 8 rice.
それからあと、口の中に入れて噛み始
So
め
there
た
is
時
a
の
difference when you use Tokyo 8, and you can taste the difference in your final stage on your plate. I think the rice where I used Tokyo 8 was very tasty.
かなり食味にも出てました。
It had a better aroma too.
こう結果が出てくる
I find this very surprising because when we think of microorganisms or organic products, we think that maybe the results won't be strong and it's hard to tell the
こん
results.
なに顕著に
But when I used Tokyo 8,
初めてです。
I saw an immediate difference in my plant and I saw a difference on my plate, which is
まあそれだけで
very
その
surprising.
言葉だけですごいまた使ってみたくなりますね。
Yes, this makes me want to continue using
もうちょっ
Tokyo
と
8.
詳しく細かく実験やってみないとわかんないんですけど、非常に茎の太さというのは
So
目立ちました。
I'm about to say something, but I think it still needs a lot of research. I noticed that the stems of my rice were
女流が多い
thicker.
ということなので、
The stems on the left are where Tokyo 8 was used. As you can see, they're thicker and they look a bit more
そ
healthier.
んなに変わらないです。ただ肉厚は、東京8の方が
So I think the rice stems are
葉っぱの
thicker,
肉厚ですね。は
which shows more health, better health, more nutrition.
葉っぱの厚みはすごくよく出てます。
And from that, you can expect better rice.
そうだな、やっぱり収量があれだけ出た、1票以上余分に出たっていうだけあって、
Yes, so in that, I harvested more bales when I was using
数は
Tokyo 8.
ほとんど変わりません。1本多いかどうかぐらいの係数。
Even though during the hot times, I didn't see much of a
先に業務
difference.
散布やったので、もう本数はそんなに変わらないんですよ。ところが、
In this regard, I didn't notice much of a
思うん
difference.
ですけど、かなりでんぷんが詰まってる分だけ、米は重くなってということになると思います。要するに充実度が非常に高かった。
それが東京都に出されてるってことですね。
あ、そうですね。はい。
So that shows that these plants are responding positively to Tokyo 8.
稲をでかくなった時、確か抜いてあったような映像があったと思うんだけど、根のどのぐらい張ってるかみた
So
いな。
this photo is showing the rice when it's uprooted.
多分
Can you see on the
根
right
の量は相当
versus on the left?
出てると思います。
We see a difference in the size of rice plants when it's
起
uprooted.
こさない。表面5センチだけ耕して終わり。なので、
So you see that this one on the right, the rice on the right, the rice plant,
そっから
looks
頑
more
張って
thicker and more voluminous. Look at the roots as well. The roots on the right side are more thick. There's more roots on the right where Tokyo 8 was used, versus on the left, they look more thin and they don't look very healthy, these roots on the
最後
left.
って呼ばれる。まあ飛行機で言ったら最後は、エネルギー切れて失速してくるようなもんなんですけど、そういうような状態には一切ならない。
So we did notice the usual things that we complain about, the usual effects of temperature change and seasonal change in our
表
rice.
面散布の時って補助にもほら、多分東京8がこう染み渡っていると
あ、
思うんだけど、
そうですね。はい、当然土にも落ちますね。
ガス湧き、
So we spray Tokyo 8 not only on the leaves, but we also spray Tokyo 8 on the soil. one concern with spraying Tokyo 8 on the soil or with other organic fertilizers is that gas may accumulate in the soil.
砂利と砂なので
But for my farm, this
水
wasn't
の通
really
り
a
がすごく良く
concern
て
because
肥料の抜
the
けもいいので
foundation of
ザル
our
タって呼ば
farm
れてて
is near the bank of a river and there is mostly sandy soil and gravel.
いいですね、自然
So
と
we
ね
were not very concerned about
ただ化学肥料
accumulation
を
of
入れてる
gas
人た
since
ちは
the aeration
蓋
is
を
very
して2
good.
週間ぐらいで一度水抜いて
It's kind of like a colander,
土がこうちょっと地割れするぐらい
kind of like a drainage
ガ
basket.
ス抜きしてそれからやってますけど、まあでも
So we're not really concerned about gas accumulation
で先ほど
that comes from using organic fertilizers.
切りわらも有機肥料も何もかも全部
So
ところにしか入れてないので
we only put organic fertilizers and cut the straw about 5 centimeters deep. So there is not really organic matter in the deep layers. So we're not really concerned about methane gas
逆
accumulation.
にも多分かかっ
And
ては言われ
there
て
is
る
a very small chance of gas
そう
production.
ですねよく言う
So
細菌なんかがメタンガス
there are concerns of methanogenic bacteria which can lead to methane gas
よ
production.
く言いますけど同じような効果
But yes, as I said, there's a small likelihood for releasing methane gas in such a field.
どういう使い方がいいのか流し込みがいいのか土壌散布がいいのか
So when we think about Tokyo 8, we can ask ourselves, what usage is the best? Should I pour Tokyo 8? Should I spray it in the soil or on the leaves? Is it better during before harvest time or after planting the rice?
を見つけてそれを東京へと
The answer to that I would say is to find out what your problem is as a farmer
いろんな
and
発想を持
to
っていろんな考え方を持って
consider different factors, hear from different farmers, kind of do a trial and error.
使うと思いますよ
It's okay to do that when you are using Tokyo 8.
が出るからそれをまた共有して
So different results come out from our trials using Tokyo 8. It's important that we share information and that we learn from each
使
other.
ってみる優先順位があったらぜひとも教えてください。
やはり苗の時にちゃんと使って
In summary, I think when you use Tokyo 8 in the seedling stage, it gives them a very good start to their growth. So I think it's very important to use Tokyo 8 in the seedling stage because this gives a better chance of growing thereafter.
気温があんまり低い時にやるとちょっと効果が出ないかもしれない
And it also really depends on the temperature. If you use Tokyo 8 rather, when the temperature is low, it may not be that effective. Remember, these are microorganisms. So it's better to use Tokyo 8 when the temperature is not too low, so that there's a better chance of activating and the microorganisms work better.
強く発揮するんだけど一度健康状態が悪くなってしまうとなかなか
Yeah, if you use Tokyo 8 also on seedlings that have lost their vigor, you may not see a big effect.
効果高いと思う
It's better to use it in a normal state when the seedlings are not too damaged,
入れれば
and
今度は
that's when you will see a clear result experiment-wise.
活着がすごく良くなって
So please use Tokyo 8 as early as you can for your rice
育
seedlings.
苗前期に1回育苗後期に
If you
1
put
回
it in about a week before rice planting, it will be very effective.
200枚で1リットルぐらい使えば
We should apply it maybe in the early
まあ
stage
そこら辺をまず
and once in the late stage of your seedling growth. And I think you can use
来年からまた
about a liter of Tokyo 8 for maybe 200 seedlings.
ぜひ参考させてもらって、
Wow, this is a lot of information. I will take it into consideration and try it on my crops. Thank you very much.
はい。松下さん、佐藤さん、ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much to Mr. Matsushita and
で
Ms.
ここまでの
Sato.
ところでの質問をですね、お受けしたいと思います。
Do we have any questions
す
so
でに
far?
オンラインでご質問いただいていて、一部も回答している部分もあるんですけれども、今シーズンはさすがにちょっと高温障害だったというお話だったんですが、
はい、
昨年で収穫の変化っていうのはどのようなものでしたでしょうか。
そうですね、 まあ、昨年はあまり参考にならないので、一昨年の実験だと、
はい、
やはり、
はい。
単種1票以上余分に出たので、使い方次第で本当に効果が必ず出ると思います。
何票が何票というイメージ
大正区が7票半ぐらい。
はい。
で、東京都使ったところが8.6票、8.7票かな。なので、1票ちょっと余分に出ました。
はい。
はい。
ご質問の主が海外からだったんで、
So sorry, there was
通訳の
several
方、今、
questions.
1班というのが 10R、
So right now,
1票というのが
for
60キロ。
the question that was answered already, so Matsushita-san was able to have one more bag
1.1 票
of
という
rice
ことは
on 1
660キロ。
hectare. So usually he
66キロ。
gets
66キロ。
6
10R で
bags.
66キロ違ったという。
So on 10R, he was able to get 60 kilos more.
あと日本、はい、すみません。
まあ、先ほどの、ビデオの中でも出てきたんですけど、
So
収量も上がったん
on the
ですけど、
video that was
食感が非常に良かった。
just before,
うん
of course the harvest was highest, but actually the taste was different and the taste changed for the best. And this is a very important point for us.
一番ですよね。なんと言っても。
そうですね。
So this is very big, right? Yes, this is very big.
先ほどの収穫の差は、さっきの
So
66キ
about
ロ
the
違うと
change,
16%
the
増という
change
ことですね。
of
はい
harvest. So
で
it's
それ以上に
about
味が良くなった。
16%,
味が良くなってお客
right?
様の評価
And
が
the taste was
まあ販売が
also
増えると
improved.
という形に
So we
つながって
got
いったという
a lot of
そういうふうにご理解いただければと思います。
of good
そうですね。去年も
voices from the clients. So this is how also
は
your
かなり品質を落としたんですけど、
sales
去年
got higher,
の
right?
高温障害は品質あんまり
So
落ちなかったので、
yes,
東京都使った
last
影響
year
で
actually
品質が量は取れなかったんです
the
けど、品質はすごく良かった。
the last year was a bit difficult to
去年は
do the cultivation.
この状
And
況でよくこれ
even
だけの
though
作れたね
the quantity of harvest was decreased last year, the quality of rice
まあ
didn't
今日海外の方も多いので、
didn't
松
fall
下さんの
down.
場合、お米の販売
So
は
this was a very big
や
point
っぱり
for us.
品
And
質
this
によ
year
って値段が
actually we had a
変わったりするもの
better
なんです。
quality of rice and also
というよりはもう
larger
ほとんど
harvest.
最初から
So about
もう
the quality
種を
of
まく
rice
時
and
点で
price, how
量
does it
と金額
change?
は決めて、やってます。
So
なるほど。
actually, I
途中
choose
で
the price of the price of the rice
品質が上がったからといって値段を
is
変えるとかっていうことはあ
is
りません。
fixed at the beginning of the
なので、
cultivation. So even if the rice gets
本当に
better or
品質が
lower,
落ちちゃうと申し
so
訳ないので大変なんですけど、
so this
高温障
this
害で
doesn't
も
change
品
the
質が落ち
price
な
of
かった
the
っていうの
rice.
は私に
But
とって
if
大変
the
なことで
quality
す。
of rice gets down,
自信
I
を持っ
feel
て
a
驚か
little
れて
bit
そうです
bad
ね。はい。
about this.
わかりました。あと、日本の方からのご質
So there's
ご
also
質
some
問で、
questions
はい。
from
散布
the
時期
Japanese
について
audience.
もう一度詳しく説明してもらえません
So
でしょうか。
especially
水耕
about
の場合、稲作の
the
場合も、ストレート
cultivation
の散布時期はいつがベストなのかという。
and the spring
この
timing.
ベストっていうのが
What
品
is
種に
the
よって
best?
も地方によっても、気温だとか環境によっ
So
てみんな違う
the
と思うんで
best
すよ。
timing, it
なので、
really depends on the variety, on the climate,
あ
and
まあ育
also
苗の
on
時
the
に、
region. But
2回、
indeed,
それ
for
か
during the
ら
nursery, it's best
最
to
高
spray it at
取
least
り
2
付け
times.
月
And
の
also
前
during
後
the
ぐらいで自動両
tillering,
面散布
you need to do
で様子見る
the
のが、
leaf
まあ育
application.
苗
And then you
で
can
使
look
っ
at
て両面散
how
布
it
1回やれば、
how
か
it
なり効
goes.
果上がると思います。これだ
If
け
you
で。はい。
spray at least those 3
ということは、
times, you will
使
have
用
a
量も結構
good
少なくて済むということ
effect.
です
そうで
ね。
すね。
So it means that
そ
even
ん
though
なに
you don't use Tokyo that much, you can still go forward.
これもまだまだ実験やってみるとわかんないんですけど、
But yes, I
まあ
still need to do
去年
some
は育苗
adjustments.
箱200枚で
But last year on the seedling trays,
で、葉面散布を、
I use
の
1
1ターンあたり1リ
liter.
ットル。
And
大
then
体
in the
80
in the
リッターから100リ
spray
ッターぐらい。
on the
な
nursery,
の
I
で、
used
年間、
1 liter again.
そうですね、まあ、2リッターなんで、安い方だと思います。
So
それも元気を
yes,
呼ぶに
for
つ
the
れ
whole
て、
year actually I
品
used
質が上がれ
only
ばもう全然
2
金額的に
liters
は
for
安いです。で、これ、葉面
1
散布も
acre.
ドローンでやってしまえば、
And
かなり
actually
手
the
間も
leaf
省けますし。
the leaf spraying, I did it
は
with
い、
drone,
今、営
so
業
I
担当の張
could
川さんは、
I
頭
could
抱えて
reduce
笑ってましたけれども。
I could reduce the
いや、ただ
spray
本当に、たった
quantity.
2リッ
So
トル
the
で
our salesperson right
66
now
キロお
is
米がたくさん取
laughing
れる
because
というのは
it will cause
大
him
変
a
大き
lot of
な
trouble, right?
メリットだと思いますし、特に
So
高温障害にも非常に強い
it is a very
形でで
important
きたというのは
point,
本当にありが
right?
たい
That
発表だと思います。
especially if you were able
他
to
に
check
質問ございますでしょうか。
about the
質問稲作に関してあ
quality
る方がいらっし
and
ゃれば、
also
テキストで
the resistance to the
はい。
to the heat. Is there any
では
other
内容でござい
questions?
ます。どうも、松下さんありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Mr.
引き
Matsushita.
続きよろしくお願いいたします。
So, thank you very much.
はい。では続きましての
Thank
プ
you
ログラ
very
ムは
much.
ですね、
To carry on,
まあ、高温障害の話、今も出てまいりましたけれども、日本だけじゃなくて、世界でも異常気象に農家の皆さんは悩まされているかと
we
思い
know
ます。
that
日本
Tokyo
でも
8
高温障害が2024年、昨
is
年
trying
非
to
常に
fight
目立ちまし
against
た。続いてのプログラムはですね、その
the bad effects
の
of
部分
climate change, high
に対してこ
temperatures.
のアカデミアからです
So
ね
we're going to talk
学術
about
的なア
these
プローチをさ
high
れていらっ
temperatures,
しゃいます
climate change, and its adverse effects on
国立大学法
crops. We
神戸
have
新潟
with
大
us
学の
today
社会
a
連携
professor
推進機
from
構
Niigata
特任教授でいらっしゃい
University.
ます三井俊明様
He's
からのご
also
発表
a
で
member
ご
of the
ざいます。
Organization for Promoting Social
三井先生よろ
Collaboration.
しくお願いいたします。
Here's our specially appointed professor, Mr. Mitsui. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mitsui, and I'm a professor at Niigata University. Today, I'm honored to speak to everyone at this webinar, and I'll talk about the topic, research and development of Shindai Koshihikari and methods to provide rice with resistance to environmental stress. So how can we provide rice with better resistance to environmental stress? So we know that because of climate change, the earth is getting hotter and hotter. This is having a very big and negative impact on farmers and on agriculture. And in this context, we are working on developing Koshihikari rice, which is a variety of rice that is resistant to environmental stress. Here's a little bit about me. My background is in research on starch metabolism regulation in rice, particularly starch degrading enzymes, so enzymes that break down starch using physiological, biochemical, and molecular cell biology approaches. So I've been working on a heat-tolerant rice variety called Koshihikari, and this led to the development of Niigata University's Koshihikari #1. So our university actually developed a new brand of rice, and now it has been adopted into society. So I heard from farmers since the year 2000 that high temperatures are really making agriculture hard and causing the rice quality to deteriorate. In this image, you'll see that there is some clear rice and also there's some white cloudy rice grains. Why is there such a difference? It's because of high temperatures. So high temperatures affect rice during its ripening stage, and they also cause the whitening of brown rice. This whitening occurs because of starch granule formulation under high temperatures, creating some abnormalities. So here's a closer
これは
look.
完熟種子、コシヒカリの完熟
This
種
is
子
a
のでんぷんカリ
microscopic view of
観
rice.
察したもので
And
ござい
here
ます
we are
こ
observing
ちらが
the structure of our starch
清流の
granules
中が高温
in
閉じ
fully
に
ripened
した
Koshihikari rice.
白濁流でございます。
So if rice is healthy,
きっちりと詰まっておりまして、
starch granules will be densely packed with angular shapes. So on the right, on the top right, we can see that microscopic view, that is healthy rice. But on the left, we can see sort of unhealthy rice. The granules have become round and they are also irregular and developed some small pits, as we can see on the surface. That is sort of an abnormality. This resembles an abnormality. So we know that there's a breakdown process of starch granules during rice seed germination. During this germination process, alpha amylase is activated, and this leads to breaking down starch granules with irregularities forming on the surface. From this observation, we can hypothesize that alpha amylase is key in whitening rice under high temperatures. So those tiny objects, animal-looking objects, are the key in whitening rice during high temperatures. So our research has revealed that abnormalities in the balance of starch synthesis and degradation during ripening results in the whitening of brown rice. So to address this, we have developed rice varieties to balance this abnormality. So we want our rice to remain stable, and we also want for alpha amylase activity to not be excessively activated. This is why we want to develop heat resistance or rice that can cope with high temperatures. We thought of different ways to produce quality rice even if the temperature is high. So there are different methods for creating mutants. One of these methods is exposing it to radiation, and another way is to cause damage to the genes through chemical reactions. However, for our experiment, we adopted something milder called biomutation. So this is an outline of the biomutation method. So here we have the Koshihikari seeds placed on a medium where the callus is formed or cellularization. So we know that our rice, after being experimented and proving to be heat resistant, it was trademarked under the name Shindai Koshihikari. It was finally developed officially as a new rice variety. And about its characteristics, after it was trademarked, we highlighted that it will retain the genetic profile of Koshihikari itself. So it will be very similar to the original Koshihikari. Its plant type and its height and the appearance of the paddy and brown rice are very similar to the original Koshihikari. So it doesn't differ much from the original Koshihikari. However, the variety has been registered uniquely because of its resistance to high temperatures. So its heat resistance is what makes it different. So these charts basically explain the gene expression characteristics of NH5. We examined the expression of different genes, And this is an example related to alpha amylase. In the case of Koshihikari, under high temperatures during ripening, the alpha amylase genes such as AMY1 and AMY3D show a big increase in activity. So about NH5, this new variety of rice, we have been conducting feed trials in paddies, different paddies across different farmers since 2020. These pictures show us the experiments, the demo experiments that were conducted in Kariwa village. Since 2020, we summarized these results of the experiments, and this is a comparison of old versus new variety on brown rice. So we're experimenting the quality, appearance of the brown rice for old versus new. And as we can see in the top left, the bottom left rather, NH5 is showing better results compared to the old variety. There is greater cloudiness, white cloudiness in the old variety. So we move on to 2024, last autumn, where we have new evaluation results from our rice harvest. So Shindai Koshihikari, which is our new variety, is observed under different conditions, such as pesticide-free farming, with organic farming, reducing pesticides by 50%, or special cultivation with a 50% reduction in fertilizer. As you can see, we are developing new crop varieties. The point of these experiments is to provide rice that is resistant to high temperatures and resistant to climate change. So that is the purpose of our experiments. One of these methods is H2O2 priming method, which I will explain next. So the features of the H2O2 priming method, as you know, hydrogen peroxide is a powerful oxidizing and bleaching agent. That's what it's commonly known for. This experiment involves treating rice seedlings with 10 micromolar H2O2 to observe its residual effects. So we were observing in this experiment how much residue was left and what kind of residue of hydrogen peroxide was left in the experiment. H2O2 is easily decomposed into oxygen and water, and no residue effects are observed in this experiments for the shoots or the roots. So in this experiment, we treated rice plants with 20 micromolar H2O2 priming, and despite its very low concentration, when rice plants are treated with H2O2 at this level, we observed significantly higher root growth. So root growth was quite high, even though the temperature condition was bad. So even though the temperatures were high, roots developed well. Our next experiment involves 10 micromolar H2O2 priming treatment, and this time it's during the reproductive growth stage. H2O2 was applied 1 week before flowering, and again during flowering, the plants were cultivated under the same conditions, under various conditions rather. So we included high temperatures as one of the variables in this experiment. Afterwards, the harvested crops were analyzed for their characteristics using the total analysis, and we experimented and examined the effect of H2O2 priming on the photosynthetic capacity of leaves.
プライミングによって H2O2 処理
So we
プライ
can
ミングに
see
よって優位に増加いたしました。
the effect of this priming
高温
across different conditions. So here we have the control from the left, high temperature 1 in the middle and high temperature 2.
高温当熟による玄米品質養護質 H2O2 プライミング
Across all
の
our
効果を調べてみたものが
experiments, we
示され
will
て
see that photosynthetic capacity is significantly
当熟期に
enhanced.
ですね
Next, we want to observe the effect of
温度が高くなればなるほど
H2O2 on the quality of our brown rice under high temperature
発生率が
ripening.
高まります。しかし、
We
H2O2
see that in
処理によって
environments where the plants are exposed to high temperatures, the incidence of white cloudiness increased in grains as the temperature rose.
ということが認められました。
So white cloudiness increases with high
続いてで
temperatures.
すね、高温不燃に及ぼす H2O2 プライミング
However,
を調べたものが
H2O2
示
will
されております
significantly reduce
高温区に
for a different kind of
厳しい温度条件、高温条件
of
があります
rice.
が、この時にはですね、高温不燃が起こりまして、
Next, we can also ask the question of whether H2O2 priming has an effect on sterility, high temperature sterility. And as is shown here, under high temperatures, severely high temperatures,
が確認され
high temperature sterility occurred at a 40% rate.
少しやっておりま
And
して、
this was confirmed. It was confirmed that high temperature sterility
でですね、
will reduce if we use an H2O2 treatment.
を調べてみました。
This next
結果ですね、H2O2 処理をすること
diagram,
未処理に比べて
we want to
78%
compare
の率が高まりました。
H2O2 when it's applied to
調
seedlings
べておりますが、
on different field experiments. So H2O2 was applied to the seedlings which were then transplanted, and then harvested crops were also examined. So the study confirmed that H2O2 treatment improves water retention in the grains.
このような実験もいたしましたけども、
So these kind of experiments were conducted, priming experiments. We wanted to see the impact on rice. Now I'd like to move on to the effects of biostimulant Tokyo 8 on our rice. So we conducted an experiment that kind of wants to compare the effect of Tokyo 8 to other materials, and we conducted this experiment in Kariwa village. So in the image you will see there are different seedlings, there are different rice plants, and we divided the experiment along with different conditions. We have on the left side, from the left image, Tokyo 8, organic fertilizers, chemically treated rice with Tokyo 8, and then a combination of Tokyo 8 with another material. This table is sort of a summary of that experiment. For example, in the Tokyo 8 section, we dissolved a milliliter of Tokyo 8 in 2 liters of water and applied 10 milliliters per pot. For the rice straw, we've added 5 grams per pot. And then in organic fertilizer, we used 24 milliliters and 4 grams per pot. That was a comparison of different materials on the rice.
ポットあたり 2.4 グラム添付したということでございます。
24 milliliters and 4 grams per
したも
pot.
のを、先ほどの東京8と同じような量を加えましたし、
Later, we also added autoclaved rice straws in the same quantities as Tokyo 8. And for each treatment, we applied the same thing, rice straw, organic fertilizers, and also other combinations to compare the growth of the
結果でご
plants.
ざいますが、
So about the results, we have measured the plant height, so different materials, and what was the height of the plants. We also measured the tiller count, the vegetation index, and also the chlorophyll content of these plants in the treatment section. So we can see on the different graphs, starting from the control, rice, organic fertilizer, chemical fertilizer only, Tokyo 8 treatment, rice straw, and Tokyo 8, and then a combination of organic fertilizer with Tokyo 8.
有機肥料プラス東京8で、最も良い成績を収め。
So we see that combining Tokyo 8 with organic fertilizer achieved the best results in this experiment. It was the best results in terms of plant height, tiller count, vegetation index, and also chlorophyll content. Chemical fertilizer alone showed effects that are comparable to those of the Tokyo 8 treatment. So the effects of Tokyo 8 on chlorophyll pigment were also experimented or investigated, and here are the results. You can see that there is the organic fertilizer versus Tokyo 8. The effects of Tokyo 8 on chlorophyll pigment components were also investigated. Again, we want to experiment the effects of Tokyo 8 on how much chlorophyll or what kind of chlorophyll pigment components are produced. So we'll measure chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, carotenoids, and other pigment components.
と、化学肥料区で、高い光合成能が見られました。また、蒸散、それから気候コンダクタンス、気候の改定ですね。にしましても、
So regarding photosynthesis, there's a comparison of different fertilizer types. And in this experiment, we see that the highest photosynthetic capacity was observed when organic fertilizer was combined with Tokyo 8. And also, there was a high capacity when chemical fertilizer was used alone. In addition, transpiration and the stomatal conductance, including stomatal opening and closing, showed very high numbers when there was organic fertilizer plus Tokyo 8. So, in addition to that, we wanted to look at the water use efficiency, which higher values were observed when there was chemical fertilizer. When we look at these results, there is high photosynthesis with both organic fertilizer plus Tokyo 8 and chemical fertilizer. Their responses tended to differ as shown in these results. This chart shows control, autoclaved rice straw plus Tokyo 8, rice straw, Tokyo 8 alone, rice straw plus Tokyo 8, and organic fertilizer plus Tokyo 8. Organic fertilizer plus Tokyo 8. So what we have to note here is that organic fertilizer plus Tokyo 8 showed superior effects. So from all of this, we can learn that Tokyo 8 plus organic fertilizer will enhance the performance of these plants. So regarding the plant growth promoting effects of Tokyo 8, we are still analyzing why these mechanisms occur, but we only know for now that our experiments show that combining Tokyo 8 with organic fertilizer impacts our plants positively. That's what we know from our findings last year. Moving on, I would like to introduce our satellite experimental facility at Niigata University. And this is the Kariwa Village Advanced Agriculture Research Center. I'll talk a little bit about this facility here. So this satellite experimental facility is in Kariwa Village. The facility was built in 2012 as a part of a project between a project in Kariwa village, and the location is called Paya Park Torimbo. Kariwa village actually invested over 300 million yen to construct this facility. So what is special about this facility? We can conduct quite a number of analyses here. One of them is high performance greenhouse system. We didn't use it this time, but you can control the CO2 concentration, and there's also 4 phytotrons, which is basically a greenhouse for doing experiments. We also have 4 biotrons in this facility. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to my presentation. As I mentioned earlier, our developed rice variety, Shindai Koshihikari, is now fully registered and it's sold in different places. In Tokyo and Niigata, you can find our rice in major department stores such as Niigata Isetan, Nihonbashi Mitsukoshi, Seibu Ikebukuro, and Shinjuku Isetan. That's where you can find our rice. We also sell rice balls in different locations. Although our rice is not normally used for sake, an alcoholic beverage, we use it from time to time. If you have the chance to try out our rice, please consider buying it, and please consider trying it for yourself. And this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Thank you, everyone.
So, merci. Thank you very much.
海外から一件ちょっと質問が来ておりまして、三井
So
先
there's
生。
one question from
シンダイ
abroad.
コシヒカリをインドネシアで栽培できますでしょうかという。
はい。実はですね、今、日本でやってる取り組み、今回、お話はしてないんですけども、環境に優しい米作りということで、温室効果ガス、メタンを削減するような取り組みをちょっとやってるんですけども、私もちょっと
Sustainable and delicious rice cultivation. So right now we have some discussion with Vietnam.
ベトナムでの寝台コシヒカリの
So right now in Vietnam the seed is being registered for the Shindai Koshihikari. So right now we can in a short time we will be able to export the Shindai Koshihikari and start cultivation. And also we will also try to see whether the methane gas can be reduced. So for Indonesia, it is possible. We can discuss about it. I think there's some procedure that we have to go through. Thank you very much. Today's webinar, there's a lot of people participating from all over the world. So is there any other question? Ready to... So there's one person raising their hand. It is okay. Is there any other question from the panelists or else? Please wait.
三井先生、お世話になってます。
はい、どうもお世話になってます。
大変
Thank you very much, Mitsui Sensei, Professor Mitsui. So I'm Mr. Goto from Taiyo Yuka. So right now I would like to ask two things. So
ですね、これは
It
やっ
is
ぱり
about
まあ
how you
基本的に
develop
は
the seed.
ミュータントなんですね。変
So
態なんですね。
Shindai Koshihikari
で、
is mostly a
変態作
mutant.
出法は、先ほど言いましたように、放射線だとか化学変異源で、やるのが一般的なんですけども、これは
So
本当に、
usually there's
まあ
a
人間
genetic
特有
editing and
の
so on, but
自然現象で作って
so
いるんです
but
ね。で、
Shindai Koshihikari has
そ
been
れをこのまま
selected
その
with a natural
実際
method.
に、作物に、応用できるかというと、そうはいかないでしょうと。だから、そういうところですかね。
So yes, this is about
麦とかにできてもまた素晴らしいかなと思ったもんで。
it would be also great if we can do the same with barley, right? Yes.
それとあともう一個なんですけど、
So the second question,
応答系のところで統計を使ったものがなんか同じような傾向にあったと思うんですけど、
so if you use
これ
Tokyo
例え
8
ばよく気
for
候とか
oats,
内積
you
とか
might
みたいな
have same kind of
いろいろ発
results.
信してると思うんですけども、
はいはい。
それがそういう考えでいいのかどうかっていうところなんですけども、
Is it good to think it
非常に
as
興味深い
as it is?
興味を持っているところで、今、今回この東京8を転化したことによって、どういうような金層が変わるかとか、
To see
その
also the
実はこれは、
by if you use Tokyo 8, how can
発生
the
抑制みたいなところ
can
につながら
the
ないかと
microorganism change and reduce the methane?
今、
But
これ
of
からの
course,
研究課題だと思っており
we
ます。
will
まあ
add more
去年から
research
始めたばっかりなので、
research
いろいろと
topics.
やっていきたいなというふうに思って
So
い
right
ます。
now, it's been only a year that we have been trying Tokyo 8. So right now, we will have more topics to go forward with that. Thank you very much.
はい、では、三井先生。
So thank you very much,
はい、どうも
Professor
ありがとうございました
Mitsui.
では続いてのプログラムに進
The
みたいと
next
思います。
program,
こちらもまた稲であり、
we
ま
need
たこちらも同じ
to,
新
it
潟
will
大
be
学
also.
So we will
からで
hand
すね、
over to a student, an international
南アフリカ
student
から新
from
潟大学に
South
留
Africa
学
who is studying
した
at
てですね、
Niigata
留学していただい
University,
てい
the same
るプリティ
university
さん
as
からの
our
発表となります。
speaker who just presented right
ここから
now.
の司会はですね、英語での
Miss
発表になり
Preeti
ますので、
Mtiani
これ
will
の司会
share a
を
bit of her
タ
academic
イヨユカ、
research
国際営業担
which
当の
has
エノラさんにバトン
incorporated
タッチをしたいと思います。エノラさん、
Tokyo
よろ
8.
しく
So
お
over
願いいた
to
しま
Miss
す。
Enora.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor, and thank you very much, Professor Mitsui, for your presentation, and thank you, Mr. Matsumoto, for the introduction. So, as it was introduced, next presentation will be from Mrs. Preeti Mtiani from South Africa. So, Mrs. Preeti has a master degree in agronomy, and she has been a lecturer in crop production in Mangosuthu University of Technology since 2013, so from South Africa. She's currently a PhD student under Professor Mitsui at Niigata University, and thanks to JICA SDGs scholarship. As you have heard from Professor Mitsui, he focuses on rice cultivation, trying to find new sustainable ways to improve yield while being respectful to the environment. During her presentation, she will give more details about her research, as you've heard from Mr. Mitsui, and especially her paper that was published last October on integrating biofertilizer with organic fertilizer, enhances photosynthetic efficiency and upregulate chlorophyll-related gene expression in rice. So, Preeti, please, you can have the floor. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored to be part of this Tokyo 8 reporting session and to share this platform with experts and researchers from around the world. As been introduced, my name is Preeti, a PhD student in Niigata University. So my research was focusing on sustainable rice production. And today I will be presenting about the paper that was published, which is integrating biofertilizer, Tokyo 8, with organic fertilizer to enhance photosynthetic efficiency and upregulate chlorophyll-related gene expression in rice. So through this work, I aim to highlight the potential of biofertilizer, Tokyo 8, in improving crop performance. So in the introduction, global agriculture around the world, it is faced with many critical challenges. So among them is the use of inorganic fertilizers, which can lead to soil degradation and groundwater contamination, which makes it difficult to maintain a long-term productivity. While we are facing those problems, rice, which is a staple food for much of the world, is in demand as the population is expected to reach 9.8 billion by 2050. So as crop production researchers, so there is a need to increase food production, but without compromising the soil health and water resources. So as a result, they use, please move to the second slide. Enora-san, please move to the next.
Sorry, we have a small technical problem. I will
okay.
recover the slide.
Okay. I can continue or should I pause?
You can continue.
Oh, okay. So as a result, with these problems that we are facing and the need to produce rice production, there's a need for innovations. So in this study, we chose to use biofertilizer, which is a biostimulant. Oh, no, it's okay. So this calls for innovation. And then we chose Tokyo 8 also to see the effectiveness, to see if it can promote plant growth. So Tokyo 8 has a formulation of different nutrients, and then also its a mode of action includes the enhancement of nutrient availability and promotes plant growth. Also, the potential benefits of using a biofertilizer is to increase rice yield and improve soil health. On the research objectives, the first one was to check and evaluate if Tokyo 8 can help in enhancement of rice growth and improvement of photosynthesis. The second one was to analyze gene expression on how to see if we apply Tokyo 8 changes under different treatments. Next slide. Please move to the next slide. So this is the experimental flow. The experiment was conducted in a biotron. So we started with seed germination. And then after germination of seeds, we transferred them to 2-liter pot size, and we use paddy-feed soil. And then these were the conditions which are ideal for rice production that were set up inside the biotron. So the rice cultivar that we used was Koshihikari. Please move to the next slide. I think in terms of treatments, we had 8 treatments. So it also involves the application time and the amount of fertilizers that were applied. So we had treatment 1, it was Tokyo 8. Treatment 2 involved rice straw and Tokyo 8. And the third treatment was organic fertilizer, which combines the eggshells, linsanokwana, and lactic acid. We also had control. We also had autoclave Tokyo 8. We had rice straw. We had organic fertilizer. We also had urea and ammonium sulfate. So we applied these treatments at different times according to the rice growth conditions and requirements. So we applied during pre-planting and 1 week after transplanting and during tillering stage and reproductive stage. So to get the solution that we used, we dissolve 1 ml, we diluted 1 ml of Tokyo 8 in 1 liter. And then for rice straw, we added 5 grams of rice straw added with 1 ml of 1 ml dissolved in 1 liter. So we were putting 10 ml per pot during these times of application. So for organic fertilizer, we put, according to the recommendations, 2.4 grams per pot, and then we also added 1 ml of Tokyo 8 dissolved in 1 liter. For autoclaved, we applied also in 1 ml of Tokyo 8 in 1 liter. And then rice straw, we applied 5 grams per pot. In organic fertilizer, we applied 2.4 grams per pot. And for urea, we applied 0.9 grams per pot of urea and 0.8 grams of ammonium sulfate. Next slide, please. So we were checking the growth. We checked photosynthesis, chlorophyll assessment, and gene expression. So we measured plant growth, which we're measuring plant heights and tiller number. We measured NTVI. We also measured photosynthesis. And then we measured SPAT, of which we're checking the chlorophyll content. And then we also checked chlorophyll content using spectrophotometer. We also ran RT-PCR to determine the gene expression. Next slide. So these are visuals of experiment. We divided patrons where we applied Tokyo 8, we put them, and then where we did not apply Tokyo 8, we put them. So when you look at the left, you see Tokyo 8, and this was at 30 days. This picture was taken at 30 days. So according to these visuals, it showed according to the visuals, the rice plants where Tokyo 8 was applied, they showed a rapid growth compared with where Tokyo 8 was not applied. But then when you look at where urea and ammonium sulfate was applied, it also showed good results. I'll also delve into this point later. Next, please. So these are the results of plant heights. The plant heights of organic fertilizer and inorganic fertilizer and organic fertilizer combined with biofertilizer. They were showing a similarity in terms of plant growth. When you look at the graph, you will see that they were showing a similar results. So it also goes back to what I was saying, that there's overuse of a there's overuse of inorganic fertilizers. So now we see that if we use organic fertilizer and combine with biofertilizer, we can reach the results that we can obtain from inorganic fertilizer. So this also applies in tiller number. So tiller number is also important in rice production because you can also tell by the number of rice tillers. The more the rice tillers, you can assume that there will be more yield. So also in NDVI, it was similar of inorganic fertilizer and organic fertilizer combined with biofertilizer, as well as in SPAT. Next, please. So I'll just elaborate on the points that I mentioned, where the biofertilizer or combined with Tokyo 8 showed higher results. So all these that I mentioned suggest that the biofertilizer is improving and promoting the overall vegetative growth, looking at the tiller number and the plant height. Also, the increased tiller number also show that they can potentially develop into grain-bearing stalks. So this also tells us that the use of biofertilizers combined with the biofertilizers can yield good results. Next slide, please. Also, these are the results of chlorophyll, and also chlorophyll is photosynthesis. Chlorophyll is important, and the results show that in inorganic fertilizer, urea and ammonium sulfate, they were also showing similar results compared with organic fertilizer, compared with a biofertilizer Tokyo 8. And then the results that we got from plant growth, tiller number, they also support this. They also support the results of photosynthesis. When you look at the photosynthetic capacity, it shows that the high levels of chlorophyll pigments show that plants are more efficient in capturing the light. Next slide, please. Yes, as a result, the increase in photosynthetic rates in these treatments show that the combined high levels of these carotenoids reflects the more pigment profile, contributing to the improved plant health. And then this can be attributed to the better nutrient availability and increased growth vigor, which often results of the effective organic and biofertilizer treatments. Next slide, please. The increase in the treatments where the biofertilizer is applied shows that the enhanced nutrient availability and uptake. It shows that biofertilizers can enhance nutrient availability and uptake by providing essential nutrients and promoting beneficial soil microorganisms. Also, the optimal photosynthetic efficiency, the total chlorophyll and carotenoids show the high levels of pigment, and this means that plants are better at using sunlight to produce energy and biomass, leading to increased growth. Next slide, please. The results are showing a photosynthesis. They are showing photosynthesis. So as a result of the increase in spot, where we see chlorophyll, where we see spot values being higher and being lower, so the results that we obtained were also showing the efficiency, especially where the organic fertilizer was applied. So it is expected in the inorganic fertilizer, which is urea and ammonium sulfate, because nutrients are readily available. When we apply chemical fertilizer, fertilizer is readily available. But when we applied organic fertilizer and biofertilizer, it also shows that there's a stimulation of microorganisms and nutrients in the soil, which then becomes readily available to be used by the plants. Please move to the next slide. So also the increased photosynthetic efficiency showed that the plants were more effective converting sunlight into energy, which can lead to better growth and yield. Also, where we see the improvement in gas exchange, there is also an improved stomatal conductance, which allows for better gas exchange, facilitating greater carbon dioxide uptake and oxygen release. So for optimal carbon dioxide utilization, it's also suggested that plants have access to sufficient carbon dioxide for efficient photosynthesis, supported by the improved stomatal conductance. Next slide, please. So this is also another component, which was gene expression. So we ran a number of genes, but among the genes that were showing difference, it was this one. So we chose them. And then these genes, they also play a role because they are involved in chlorophyll synthesis. They are involved in chlorophyll synthesis, and they are also involved in light-dependent and photoperiod regulation chlorophyll synthesis. So the results that we are getting here also suggest that there are changes that occurs. So we are still working on finding the mechanism that causes these genes to be upregulated in these treatments. Next slide, please. Looking at the increase in these chlorophyll genes, it shows that biofertilizers improve nutrient availability and absorption, leading to better overall of plant health and reduced stress. So in terms of soil health, It shows that beneficial microorganisms in biofertilizer enhance soil structure microbial diversity, which supports plant growth and stress resilience. So also the production of growth promoting substances. Biofertilizer produce phytohormones and other growth regulators that can enhance plant growth and stress tolerance, influencing related genes. Next slide, please. So this is the conclusion of the study. Take away home that organic fertilizer combined with biofertilizer significantly improved rice growth, photosynthetic efficiency, and chlorophyll expression. Also, the organic fertilizer with biofertilizer resulted in taller plants, higher tiller number, and increase in photosynthetic activity. All these results highlight the potential of organic fertilizer combined with biofertilizer as a sustainable solution for food security and climate change, supporting SDG 2 and 13. Next slide. As Enora-san introduced me, telling you that I'm from South Africa. So I'm just going to give you an overview of South African agriculture and on what we produce. So South Africa is leading in sugarcane production, also in grain production. There's also forestry. There's also vegetables, fruits. They are also exported, mostly grapes and apples and pears. There's a large number of cattle stock. We have sheep. And we also have South African agriculture is diverse. We have got commercial farmers and we have got subsistence farmers, of which they all contribute to the GDP of the country. And among the challenges that we have, it's water challenge, but the government is supporting farmers who are farming with their irrigation schemes and all other inputs that are necessary. Maybe next slide. Oh, these are the references that were used. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Pretty. So next presentation will be from Taiyo Yuka, Tokyo 8 employee, Lori Sibale. So she has been in Malawi the last 3 months to boost Tokyo 8 popularity and showcase the unit operation in the country. Also showing the potential of the franchise to the clients. So she has been able to accomplish the great feat of having the product ready and to be sold in less than 2 months. So please start your presentation.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Glory Siwale, and I will be sharing on Tokyo 8 business in Malawi. I went to Japan in 2022 to study for my master's degree. And when leaving, I had an intention to come back home with a business from Japan. So with the help of African Development Bank and JICA, I learned about Tokyo 8 as well as other companies. I learned about other companies, but specifically about Taiyo Yuka, which is the parent company that produces Tokyo 8. So I learned about it and I had an interest of learning more. So I had the opportunity of doing an internship with the company Tokyo 8 or Taiyo Yuka for 6 months. So in my 6 months of doing my internship, I did research and I learned how Tokyo 8 is good for the environment, good for transforming agriculture, for food security, and for many aspects of the sustainable development goals. So I imagined Tokyo 8 being produced in Malawi. I imagined Malawian farmers accessing Tokyo 8, which is able to transform their agriculture but also change their livelihoods in general. So this was at the peak of the fertilizer crisis, when prices were just rising and there was poor availability or poor access, especially for farmers in Malawi. So I started researching on how to bring Tokyo 8 back home, also through, not just by myself, but also through finding partners, potential partners who can produce it locally. So in all of my internship journey, I had support and help from the Malawi Embassy in Japan. And here is a picture of His Excellency Ambassador Kwatati Caesar and Mr. Soko, who came to visit Taiyo Yuka when I was an intern, and they learned also about Tokyo 8, and they've been very supportive. The embassy in general has been very supportive of Tokyo 8, providing information, providing advice and counsel throughout the whole journey up to date. That now that I'm producing Tokyo 8 in Malawi, they've also been very helpful. So after my internship, I got a chance to work with the company directly to support others who will produce Tokyo 8 in their country. And I was also facilitating registration with government bodies, including Malawi. Also, we have made progress in registering Tokyo 8 as an agricultural product here in Malawi with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Department of Research. So right now it's still underway. And in Malawi, Tokyo 8 has been started by Miss Victoria Bweo Mohone, who started it about 2 years ago, producing it in the northern part of Malawi. So looking at all the progress, or all the progress that Malawi has been taking, strides that has been happening in Malawi, the company Taiyo Yuka was really motivated to increase the supply of Tokyo 8, or to increase the new franchisees, to increase usership of Tokyo 8 in Malawi. That is when I had to come to Malawi and produce Tokyo 8 for this season. So the production started in October, but before that, that's in September and October, we were purchasing materials and constructing the units. This was when I was still in Japan, so my family is the one that played a big role in making sure that the materials are put together and the construction is happening and that everything is all in order by the time that I'll be returning in to Malawi, and everything should be set. Also because we're targeting this summer cultivation period, this rainy season. And all of the materials, almost all of the materials were found in Malawi. They were available in Malawi, apart from a few that had to be shipped from Japan by air. Let me specify here that the perfect or the most ideal way of shipping is by air, not by boats, because boat really takes a lot of time, and there's so many unforeseeable circumstances that may happen over time. So we first of all had to do the measurement of the units. There's a specific way or specified instructions of measurement. So we had to find a plumber. This was happening when I was in Japan. So we had to find a locally available plumber. We had to find a plumber locally who did the measurement according to the instructions and then did the joining of the unit or the whole construction. Let me specify here that I have been served by the best. Mungo Plumbing Services have been very, very, very helpful and reliable in constructing and also maintenance of the Tokyo 8 unit. And let me also specify the total construction costs were around $1,000 US. Yeah, around $1,000 US. So in producing Tokyo 8, we had to carefully check every day, carefully check the status of the units to make sure that the quality is as good as the one in Japan. So, and also before bottling it, it is very important to take it through to take the finished product in a test, take it to test to determine the quality or to confirm the quality as reliable or as usable for the farm, the fields. So this is what the unit looks like after finishing the construction and putting everything together. And we had to set up a shed to make sure that we reduce the impact of rainfall in the units. And this is the packaging that we are using. We're using 5-liter bottles because they are more cost effective to make sure that the cost is not so heavy on farmers. We are packaging in 5-liter bottles. So we initially had bottling challenges because of supply, but now we have a steady supply. As you can see, this is a picture of my mother holding a Tokyo 8 bottle. I call her Tokyo 8 ambassador because she makes sure that wherever she goes, she preaches Tokyo 8 message, and she also uses Tokyo 8 in her farm. And generally, our business strategy has been mostly word of mouth, social media, or direct platforms, and also friends of friends. So one person buys Tokyo 8, they see the results in their field, they tell another person, or they repost on their social media platforms. And I think social media has really been of help in making sure that Tokyo 8 is known. And we also had a chance of working with NGOs. They gave us access to their farmers by allowing us to participate in their exhibitions, and we also had different meetings with them, like Concern Worldwide and Self-Help Africa. They gave us platform to meet their farmers and tell them about Tokyo 8. We also had exhibitions with the Department of Agricultural Research Services, where we talked about Tokyo 8 to experts and farmers, as well as other key players in the agriculture sector. So right now we're also implementing a system where farmers get to pay some of the money before, like some of the Tokyo 8 price, cost of Tokyo 8, and they get to finish the balance at the end of the month. And this is a picture of the exhibition as well as a factory tour by Concern Worldwide. So far, we are selling 3,000. Currently, we're selling Tokyo 8 at 3,000 Malawi kwacha per liter, which is about $1.5 per liter. And we have managed to reach, not sell to, but to reach over 700 farmers through the exhibitions as well as through just direct contact and word of mouth. We have raised our demand and we're hopeful for the next season. But in terms of acreage, we have sold over 1,200 liters of Tokyo 8 this far. But I would say that we have increased interest. People now are more interested in Tokyo 8, seeing how it is performing in other people's farms. We have this is a picture of one of my clients who came back after using Tokyo 8 in their nursery. They came back to buy for their family members, to buy for other family members to also have a taste of Tokyo 8. So the Tokyo 8 that has been made in Malawi, we also have nice results, amazing results. For example, in the first frame here, we have higher germination of maize seed in comparison. So this was about 100 or 99.99% germination rate in one of the trial farms. And this is the second frame is Miss Tamara of JTC General Supplies, who said that in her farm she did not apply anything apart from Tokyo 8 and some manure, of course, but the rate is as fast as though she applied NPK. It is almost the same as the fields that NPK has been used. And we also have somebody who experienced germination rate in the rice seedlings, says the seedlings are very healthy. They were very green and the color was nice and strong looking plants, strong looking seedlings. And we also have experience of healthy plants altogether. We've had poor rains, or rather delayed rains in Malawi this season, but when the farmers applied Tokyo 8, their plants were still healthy and they were still performing strongly. This is what farmers have been observing. Of course, our challenge has been the application, because in Malawi, the conventional way of applying fertilizer is at 21 days after planting, and then you apply again later the top fertilizer. So in my case, farmers were coming now to me at 21 days asking for Tokyo 8, which was maybe part of my advertising. I did not specify in the advertising that Tokyo 8 is used from the beginning of the season, where you use it at planting or before planting during land preparation. So farmers were coming at 21 days to ask for their first dose of Tokyo 8. So I think in the next season, that has been a lesson to learn for the next advertisement in the next season. And as I said, we've been having very amazing results in the field with the locally produced Tokyo 8. In my family's field, also, let me specify that each one of my family members bought Tokyo 8. Whoever farms individually bought Tokyo 8, and they'll also have their own amazing results as early as in the very early stages of their cropping. And farmers who have been able to see their results, they're talking about fast growing, like the pace, the speed of development, as well as the strength of the crops. It's amazing. And as I said earlier, that some even came back to buy for their family members, and some have been receiving questions from the neighboring farms asking about the product that they're using because the crops are really vigorous. So this is my mom's field. To the left, she applied Tokyo 8. This is about 3 acres of land, and this is 5 weeks old maize field. You can see these maize fields were planted at the same time, at the exact same time, and she has applied Tokyo 8 3 times, and she has been able to reduce her overall direct farming costs or direct input costs by 40%. There's a 40% reduction of her unit of her input costs. So normally when she farms on the 3 acres maize, she uses about $430, but this time around she has only used about she will use rather when she applies Tokyo 8 again. She's purchased actually the whole Tokyo 8 for the whole season, and she has used $273, which is 40% less than what she uses in the normal. This is also another rather, if you can see the difference in the plant height, the one with Tokyo 8 looks faster in development, and it also looks strong compared to the one on the right without Tokyo 8, which is around the waist length. This is another farm where we are also trying with Tokyo 8. You can look at the difference in the height of the plant. The one on the left with Tokyo 8 is around shoulder length compared to the one without Tokyo 8, which is around waist length. Next, I'm about to play a video of one of the farmers in Lilongwe here who used Tokyo 8.
Nikumaliza esera tati akwana chona chokona kawiri nakona kine chose bechukonikiramo olominda mimi asana green wake mimi abwelera feteza ndombondo wampavu olominda mimi ndikana deba wazineba machani amaliza udabudi feteza wanja mimi ndipo ndisapota kwa yudi feteza mimi ndiye kufunikira leo ina ili yose emetiza kwa ikafanta yo tirira azikuyira feteza ka uti Tokyo 8 basi kwa ndaona kuti pindu lilipo kiembekezo nichosa yamba.
So that was Mr. Kapeni, who was sharing us his experience with Tokyo 8, how he did not believe in the efficacy of Tokyo 8 before, but now he is a true believer. He is a real supporter of Tokyo 8 because he has seen what Tokyo 8 is doing in the field. So in Malawi, we're soon to have new producers of Tokyo 8. We are trying to increase the reach of Tokyo 8 to try to reach as many farmers as we can in Malawi. So we have to my right, to the top right, we have JTC General Supplies, and then in the bottom we have Starlight Investment, and in the top left we have Sunga Enterprise, who are planning to start producing Tokyo 8. We have another aspirant of Tokyo 8 who is not in this picture because of privacy reasons. But we are very hopeful of Tokyo 8 being made available to farmers in the next season. And if you're farming in the winter season in Malawi, Zambia, or Mozambique, you can count on Tokyo 8 supply coming from Malawi if there is no one in your country supplying Tokyo 8 yet. Thank you so much. And I would like to emphasize that you can count on Taiyo, Yuka, and Tokyo 8 Global in general to support you. If you're planning on producing Tokyo 8, they will adequately support you in producing it. They have not 24/7 service, but then the staff at Tayuka will be readily available to support you, helping you find right information to make sure that the Tokyo 8 that you produce is of good quality and it meets the standards of farming in your country and in your region. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Let me specify that if you're looking for Tokyo 8, I am available and supply is adequate for this season and even for the next season. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And just at the end, you sent us a video about a farmer that is showing her results with the kids. So we would like also to share that. Please share the video.
Tasha, I'm a part-time farmer. This year, I decided to try Tokyo 8 biofertilizer in my maize field as well as my rice field. As you can see, Tokyo 8 has been so the best fertilizer I can ever apply, because my maize field is doing much better compared to other fields which did not apply biofertilizer Tokyo 8. So I'm really impressed. As you can see, I only applied it 2 times just to try, to give it a try, because this is a very small maize field, a very small plot, but I just said, let me just try. But it has proved to be the best. My maize is growing as fast in terms of vegetativeness and also in terms of the color. So this is right here, all these plots, we're doing rice transplanting. As you can see, that man over there is spraying Tokyo 8 biofertilizer. And so as soon as the plot is transplanted, then he comes and spray Tokyo 8. So we are hoping that the fruit will be as great as the ones we saw in the maize field. This is the second time we're applying Tokyo 8 biofertilizer. The first time we applied when we were sowing in the nursery. So this is the second time. Tokyo 8,
So thank you very much. So once again, thank you very much, Glory, for your presentation. And actually, your activity in Malawi gives us great hope. We can see in only 3 months how hard and with networking and hard work, how can the Tokyo franchise can really take off. So we have a few questions from the audience. We are slightly behind schedule, but I think we can take at least one question. So Glory, are you here to answer the question?
Yes.
So one question from the Japanese audience is how much Tokyo 8 is sold in Malawi, and is there any repeat users?
Yes, so far we have had about 1,400 liters of Tokyo 8 sold. And we have also repeat users, people who came back to buy for the second and the third dose, but also people who came to buy for other people, like their neighbors and their family members.
Oh, I see. So since you made the presentation documents, the number of Tokyo 8 that you were able to sell got higher, right? You were able to sell more.
Oh, yes.
So that is great. It shows really that the word of mouth is going through in Malawi.
And right now, more people are knowing about Tokyo 8 and interest is really growing.
Wow. Seeing that doing Tokyo 8 franchise can easily take off once you have the network and the communication, sufficient communication with the farmers like you've done. So since we are slightly behind schedule, yes?
いや、もう少しマラウィでの可能性を語ってもらいたいんだけども。
So Mr. Matsumoto would like from you to hear from you the possibilities in Malawi.
So I think one of the biggest advantage of Tokyo 8 in Malawi is the fact that people are now switching more to organic farming, to organic fertilizers. There's been an increase in the awareness of organic fertilizers. So Tokyo 8 has been having an easy way in people's minds, telling them that it's an organic product. And also because currently with the increasing fertilizer prices, there have been cases where people sell fake fertilizers. So Tokyo 8 is coming in as a remedy and I think the one key element is this trust. People are buying Tokyo 8 mostly because of trust. They're able to trust that this product is a safe product, and when they see the factory, they come into the production site, they're able to believe it with their own eyes. And also when people know about Tokyo 8 through somebody they trust, for example, my father's friends know about Tokyo 8 from him, so they trust that, okay, he cannot give me something fake. They choose to buy Tokyo 8 compared to other fertilizers that have been in the past have been fake, So
Yes, you told me in the past that during the fertilizer crisis, after Corona, people were selling sand instead of fertilizer, right?
Exactly.
So having the trust of the farmer is the biggest point.
Yes.
So yeah, Glory. So you studied in Japan. You have studied in Japan, and you know the Tokyo 8, working with Tokyo 8 people, and bring back the good product Tokyo 8 back to your home country and then expand them. It's great.
Thank you very much.
So okay. So every African, other countries, people, follow Glory.
Yes, people who are willing to produce Tokyo 8, I am very glad to share them the tips and the information that they can use to make sure that Tokyo 8 can kickstart from my own experience.
Thank you very much.
I told the experience of Liberia. Your information, your experience share to all, and for other people share many information. So sharing information is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the answers. Sorry for the question that we weren't able to respond. We need to go to the next program since we are slightly behind schedule. So next will be the last presentation of the day before the closing remarks. So if you have participated in the previous webinars, I think you must be familiar with our next panelist, Mr. Arangi, the CEO of Tokyo 8 Indonesia. With his experience in upper management through IT company, he has a very strong desire to solve the problem of Indonesian agriculture with innovative solutions. He is also resolved to spread Tokyo 8 in every village in Indonesia. So please, Mr. Arangi, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Can you enable my video share?
Yes.
I think, yeah. Okay, hello everyone. So while we wait, so I'm sharing my screen. I'm hoping I can also share my video.
Wait a second, it's coming.
Sorry, that's all right. So, yes, my name is Arangi. I'm from Indonesia. I think I always enjoy in communicating with this is an amazing global community from Asia to Africa, and I'm very glad to learn a lot from all the panelists today, from Japan to South Africa to Malawi, and hopefully I can share something also from south of Indonesia here. So for those who have not visited Indonesia yet, we are way south in of from Japan, Tokyo. Yeah, it has about 13,000 islands with 277 million people, and it's increasing every year, so it's going up. Luckily, so to provide for the food, we have 75,000 villages around Indonesia with about 26 million arable land or farmable soil, which is decreasing about almost to 10% every year. So every 10 to 20 years, the amount of farmable soil is decreased by half. So, and with this trend, this threatens our food security or food sustainability in Indonesia. So what is the solution? One way, we have to think about intensification, how to increase productivity per hectare in Indonesia, where we have quite a bit of challenge there. Nevertheless, I'm glad we have all the researchers around the world to prove how Tokyo 8 has helped from Japan, the snowy climates in Japan to deserts in Africa. Hopefully doing it in tropical Indonesia, it's much easier, yeah. So we have been very active since the past year from around Jakarta in West Java, increasing in many villages, many areas there. So these are the regencies. Each regency has about 100 villages. And we have expanded also to Lampung, to Sumatra, with our colleagues from Ministry. Also expanded to Kalimantan, south tip of Kalimantan in Banjarmasin, and recently expanded to East Java. And there are many more islands. There's about 75,000 villages here to go. And it is difficult, such a vast area, 13,000 islands. So there has to be multiple ways, multiple angles, and how do we address that? How do we expand to help more villages around Indonesia? Number one is we try one Tokyo 8 advisor, Tokyo 8 agronomist in every regency. There's about 419 regencies, so we need to recruit 19 of them. Right now, we have almost 10, so we have about 409 to go. And we have done training, socializing with communities, doing also training installations with Enora here, and Taihei-san come and initiate and train them personally. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to have your presence. And then with this army of agronomists, we go around and do educational events, socializing with farm groups, with parties, and sharing our solution in rejuvenating the soil. A lot of Indonesian soil is been badly damaged with chemicals, pesticides, over fertilizing with chemical, and we are happy to have Tokyo 8 that can be produced in the villages to rejuvenate the soil again. So with those, they are very hard. They are very, how do you call that, analog. It's necessary. We cannot avoid doing manual work. However, we try to help as much as possible also with digital. Now, with a lot of the farmers in Indonesia, they are what I call that, not using too much with computers, but more and more people using smartphones, and more a lot of farmers here, almost every farmer that I met have used WhatsApp. So we try to bring technology to their hand. Like, we have Meta AI on WhatsApp now. So we have our own trained farm advisor, agronomist AI, name is Agriana. This is the number. So please take a photo of this QR code and try to contact with Agriana. It can speak in any language. So how it helps is that it can read the photo of the plants, read the condition of the plants, even the condition of soil, and can make recommendation based on the condition, based on the picture. And it can speak in any language, any traditional Indonesian language. And I'm hoping for you to test it also in other countries. I've had a user from Africa in the last meeting, and they were very grateful about how it helps them. So please try in Malawi, please try in South Africa. I would like to hear your response, yeah? And use it also in WhatsApp group, so it becomes a group with everybody. Also, hopefully, it can also help farmers do budgeting in farming season. And then Agriana can help also to see if with the soil condition, with the previous plant condition, what should be improved in the next season. So maybe Tokyo 8 can also recommend it if it helps with the soil. So with all those information that's going with the farmers, I think almost 1,000 farmers is communicating with them in Indonesia. Now, with all those information, that can also help the organization that is helping those farmers. So like farm management or government institutions or even insurance companies can help oversee the farm projects and can discuss about what's the soil condition, what's the farm condition, and can have a chat. Is there any SOP that is not followed? What about the yield prediction with the progress? Yeah, the more data it has, the better Agriana can advise. So hopefully it can help not only the farmer, but also the organization, even the nation. Very much like to talk with those in Malawi, South Africa, in Japan, and other countries, if we can help the government with Agriana. Now, here we also, to expand further influence, we know Indonesia is a big country, and to tackle agriculture by ourselves is impossible. So we have to collaborate with as many parties as possible. So we are leading a national consortium for food security in Indonesia, working together with Ministry of Transmigration and Ministry of Villages. I'm very glad that they're very helpful about our idea. And then trying to connect the a closed loop ecosystem to help increase the yield, the intensification of our current farmlands, using the supervisory system from Agriana, and also standardizing certifications, contracts, SOP, collaborating with big buyers for sustainable supply contract, connecting farm management with the village-owned enterprises, co-ops, and farm groups as the subcontractors, so that with these sustainable contract, long-term contracts, hopefully it's easier for us to help persuade investors, insurance, and financial institutions to help finance the projects, so that farm subcontractors, farm input subcontractors can have a sustainable business together for the long run. It takes everyone to make sure that a country can have food sustainability, and it's everyone's responsibility. Hopefully, this is one of the initiative that can help. So I'm very glad to share this model with other countries if it's helpful, and hopefully this can be a good practice for everyone to replicate in other countries. Our target now is 1 Tokyo 8 factory in every village to help Indonesia's food security. So thank you. Let's see if anybody can contribute and help and have a suggestion. I'm very interested to learn. Thank you.
Mr. Arangi, thank you so much for your presentation. So I think it will stimulate the minds of the entrepreneur participating in the webinar. So just before we saw how important it is to have the contact with the farmer, like you like to say, the empathy and so on. But you've been able also to share during this presentation how important to have also a global vision and how you can network and put all the elements together. So first of all, I would like to ask you one question. Usually, how is the reception of the unit, of the Tokyo 8 unit in the villages?
Oh, I'm very from the farms like you saw in the video. It's been amazing. A lot of them is a lot of the response that I get is that this is the solution, one of the solution that they have been looking for because of the scarcity of fertilizer. As we know, the international situation makes fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, what do you call it, is less abundant than before. Indonesia, a lot of the farmer depends on the subsidized chemical fertilizer. I mean, they're not the best solution in the world for our soil, yeah. However, for many villages, that's the only solution. So having our product that has helped with testimonies from farmers here that has helped them reduce their dependency on any NPK to a quarter, sometimes to half, with increasing yield. I've seen some of them even double their yield with half of the NPK. It's been tested also with our government lab. That is a very promising story. And then their ability for them to produce it in their village, to produce Tokyo 8 in their village with very affordable rental program every month is a very adaptive solution for them. They don't have to do major capital investment in beginning. They will see output every day of Tokyo 8 that they can spray on 1 hectare every day, yeah. And working together in a farm group or in a village makes the farmers group also more cohesive. They have something to strive for together. So I'm very happy also with our team. Mr. Angga is not able to join here. He's still in the village where there is a poor connection, but he sends his regard, and he's been very successful in spreading, not only introducing Tokyo at the village, but also recruiting the local agronomists, empowering the local agronomists to help their farmers and villagers.
Oh, thank you very much for your answer. So this is the situation in Indonesia. So I have also another question, a quick question on, so you've seen how it is in Africa, how fast the word of mouth is spreading. Do you find any similarities between Indonesia and Africa?
Yeah, so I know with selling modern things in urbanized products, selling online is the best way. But I think in Indonesia, the number one seller is a happy customer. So farmers that are happy with our product has been able to produce it. They are our best ambassador for product. And also the access, what do you call that? The internet adoption and online shopping adoption is only also only big in the cities. In the villages, personal contact, personal trust is still number one. So you treat the person first before you trust the product or the brand. So.
Oh, I see. So from the audience, actually, we have a question that might be a little bit answered by this point, but maybe it is better if you answer it directly. So having a large number of production sites, of course, it increases the availability, but it also increases the possibility of fakes. Do you have any countermeasure to address this issue?
Right. So yeah, here's the rule. In Indonesia, number one, the license to distribute is only for Tokyo Indonesia, the company, right? So when we install the unit in a village or in a farm group, it's a rental program. Therefore, the product still belongs to us. So it still lies under our liability for quality, for activity, yeah. So we with the rental program that includes our agronomist to visit once a month for quality check, making sure everything is good, and not only the production but also the usage of it. And the next one is the product that is produced by each farm group is only to be used by that farm group or that community. So it's only for close community, not to be sold in stores, not to be sold online. And if the farm group pays together as in like chip in every month as a membership program to use this product, the demand is higher than the supply. Also, demand is higher than supply. Therefore, the product should be what we like to see is that the product is absorbed immediately before.
Sorry, I think your internet is cutting.
そうですね。他の日本のこれまでのプレゼンテーターの方からも何かご意見やご質問があれば、増田さんや三井先生や佐藤さんや。
So while we are waiting for Mr. Arangi's internet to recover, maybe we can hear any comments or
so Glory
impression from the other panelists. So, for example, Glory, after hearing Mr. Arangi's presentation, what do you think about what can be done in Malawi?
日本の参加者の方に、実はこのインドネシアで開発したやり方をちょっと世界に広めようという今、画策をしています。グローリーどう？ How about Glory? What do you think about Glory?
Hi, I couldn't hear your question. Please translate it for me and understand.
No, the question was the one I asked you actually.
Yeah, Endora-san.
Yes. So were you able to, after watching Mr. Arangi's presentation, were you able to think of something that can be applicable to Malawi? And how do you compare?
Well, I think that the one advantage in Indonesia, or the one thing that is somehow similar but also different between Indonesia and Malawi, is the organization of farmers. Most parts of Malawi, the farmers are individual farmers, unless they are under a project. So it is easy to penetrate to farmers that are organized together or grouped under a cooperative or a farmer group in under a project, under a particular project. But it may not be actually very easy to go to attach that project unless maybe, well, there are certain rules that may be followed. But if that approach is taken from Indonesia, I think it would be very easy to penetrate the farmers' market, to penetrate the market.
Yes, indeed. I think, thank you very much for your answer. I think in East Africa, there's a lot of different situations. For example, in Malawi, there's a lot of independent farmers, but in Zambia, for example, for the farmer to access the support from the government, they have to be in communities, in farm group. So maybe also the policies from the government can support this.
And so Arangi-san, back to here. So
Mr. Arangi is back.
Yeah, sorry, the connection broke off.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So I think you were toward the end of your answer, right? For the question.
Yeah. Basically, the main principle is if the buyer is the user, so they not as a reseller, but the render is the user, they will make sure that the quality is as high as possible.
Thank you very much for your answer. So I think a lot of questions are rising in the chat, and but we are getting close to the end of the webinar. So let me check, for example, one last question. So I think from the audience, there's a question saying, I saw a video of you spraying on your back in Africa earlier, but the amount of spraying seemed very small for the quantity of land. What is the dilution ratio? So the dilution ratio for tokyoate is mostly 1 milliliter of tokyoate for 1 liter. So it will depend. So for example, if you have a back sprayer of 10 liters, you will use 10 milliliter. So as for, so I would like to thank all the panelists for today. And now I will leave the floor to Mr. Yohei Ishida to share his closing remarks.
All right, I'd like to begin my closing remarks. Thank you everyone for attending today's cultivation results reporting session. Thank you very much for your valuable time. I'd like to first of all thank our speakers, starting with Mr. Matsushita, Ms. Sato, Dr. Mitsui of Niigata University for all your valuable input. In the latter half of the session, we also had Ms. Priti, Glory from Malawi, and Mr. Arangi from Indonesia. Thank you very much for your presentations. Today we've had different people present about their experience with Tokyo 8, and I believe that looking back, 2024 was a year of innovation for this product. This is because of increased science validation and also increased awareness on our product. In Japan, the number of users who are using Tokyo 8 is increasing nationwide, and for overseas, Tokyo 8 is registered as a biofertilizer in many more countries, including Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, and the African continent. Those are some of the countries we are expecting official registration. We as the Tokyo 8 team aim to contribute to food security and also environmentally friendly agriculture. In a nutshell, we want the lives of farmers to improve. That is our overall goal, and we're making steady progress. As we all know, global warming is getting worse by the year, but we are determined to contribute to food security around the world and also be part of the solution for farmers and agriculture. Thank you very much. This is all from me, and this is all from us. Thank you very much once again.
はい、ありがとうございます。